Lewis Hamilton to join Fernando Alonso at Indy 500? Brit addresses F1 exit talk. Hamilton's Mercedes contract expires at the end of next year and he has openly admitted he could walk away from F1. Liberty Media are planning a huge overhaul of rules which a number of drivers are skeptical about. Alonso retired from F1 last year to try and win the Triple Crown, which consists of the Monaco Grand Prix, 24 Hours of Le Mans and Indy 500. Only one man, Graham Hill, has been able to win all three races. But Hamilton is not interested in joining Alonso in attempting the feat. "Honestly, I couldn't care less," Hamilton told AS. "You can never say never, but I have no plans to race anywhere else. The cars aren't the same anymore." "I think when Nigel Mansell went to Indianapolis they were still quite good, and although I really liked the Group C cars, I'm not very impressed by the cars in those championships now. I'm not a fan of Le Mans either. I'll probably ride bikes a lot, but just for fun." Alonso will race for McLaren at the Indy 500 this year. And F1 pundit David Coulthard has predicted the Spaniard could return to F1 in the future. Alonso would drive in F1 again, if he thought there was a chance at getting a podium, he said. So, if McLaren start to build a picture where they know a certain racetrack might suit them, then if Fernando genuinely thought he might get his face on the podium again, I have no doubt he's got the hunger, the motivation and the ego to want to, the audacity to go, "There you go, kids. That's what I can deliver." Next news: Charles Leclerc fumes on team radio at Chinese Grand Prix at Ferrari team decision. Leclerc went out early in Q1 on Saturday, but the 21-year-old was caught in traffic during his flying lap. The Monaco man, hunting the 17th pole of his career, was livid after and he blasted the traffic as a joke. Xavier Marcos, the Ferrari race engineer, decided when to send Leclerc out, and Sky Sports commentator David Croft thinks the driver's outburst was aimed at his team. Charles Leclerc, "If you didn't hear that, team radio basically said the traffic was a joke," Croft said while commentating on Sky. "I think that was more of an indication to the Ferrari pit wall," Xavier Marcos, the man on the pit wall as his race engineer, "that they've pretty much sent him out at a very bad time here." But fellow commentator Martin Brundle had sympathy for the Ferrari team and he reckoned Leclerc was wrong to put any of the blame at them. "Yes, I know, but if you're going to do a super slow out lap to protect your tires, there's a 2-minute window there for other teams to release their cars," he said. "I don't know how they can second guess that with total accuracy." It had been a frustrating weekend for Leclerc with an engine cooling issue, and more heavy traffic, causing Leclerc to finish FP2 in 7th. However, it was the rapid pace showed by Red Bull which surprised him most. Leclerc said on Friday, "I think it will be very close. Mercedes and also Red Bull are actually quite close, so will be an interesting battle. Red Bull are definitely closer than we expected, so that's good to see. It will be a good fight between the three teams, I think." Next news: Max Verstappen throws shade at Sebastian Vettel at Chinese Grand Prix. Vettel has yet to finish on the podium in either of the opening two races of the season. The German was also outperformed by his younger teammate Charles Leclerc in Bahrain 2 weeks ago. Verstappen is not surprised to see Leclerc beating his German ally. But the Dutchman played down Vettel's driving ability by highlighting how he got beat by Daniel Ricciardo last year. "I knew how fast Leclerc is," Verstappen told La Gazzetta dello Sport. "So I knew that with a good Ferrari Charles would be very strong." And I thought to myself that if Ricciardo could beat Vettel before, then so can Leclerc. Verstappen did hail Vettel for his accomplishment of winning 4 drivers' championships. But he does not fear racing against the Ferrari star. Vettel is a very good driver, I mean he has won 4 world titles, he added. But he is not a magician or anything in my eyes. Red Bull have promised to make upgrades to Verstappen's car ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix tomorrow. And the 21-year-old welcomes the opportunity to close the gap to Mercedes and Ferrari. Bringing new parts between Bahrain and China is not easy, also because of customs issues here, said Verstappen. But with the start of the Grand Prix in Europe, we want to bring many developments and move closer to the top. Next news: Lewis Hamilton's major problem at Chinese Grand Prix revealed by F1 expert. The Brit has struggled in his Mercedes since arriving in China, and he ended final practice more than 0.8 seconds off his teammate Valtteri Bottas. Bottas set the pace and was 0.392 seconds from Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel in the last session before qualifying, but it's just not happening for Hamilton. According to Ted Kravitz, it's all down to an issue where the 5-time world champion just can't get his tires warm enough before his flying lap. What on earth is happening to? Kravitz asked ahead of qualifying on Saturday morning. I'll tell you what's happening, he can't get the tires warmed up correctly on the outlap. When he tried doing his qualifying simulation in final practice ahead of this session, his tires were still cold going into turn 1. That meant his grip was nowhere near what it needed. He lost so much time in the first sector. By the time his tires were up to temperature, it was all too late and he lost the time. A hot outlap is the key for Lewis Hamilton. The final practice session was called to a halt early on Saturday when rookie Alex Albon's Toro Rosso ran out wide from turn 16 and skidded off into the wall. The British Thai emerged from the crash unscathed, but the damage had already been done, with his car unable to be salvaged before qualifying. He will start from the back of the grid on Sunday. Toro Rosso later issued a statement on Twitter confirming their man had been checked over by medics before being given the all-clear. They wrote, following his precautionary checks after the heavy impact in FP3, at Alex_Albon has been given the all-clear from the medical center #Chinese GP. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.